Are you working harder and harder each day, yet feeling like you're running in place? If you've ever put in 10 hours of work but only seen a trickle of progress, you're not alone. The surprising truth is that in many cases, 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. Yes, you heard that right. A tiny fraction of what you do accounts for the majority of your success. This is the 80/20 rule, and once you understand it, you can literally work less and achieve more. Imagine you have a to-do list of 10 tasks. According to the 80/20 principle, also called the Pareto Principle, 2 of those tasks will likely contribute to most of your success. The other 8? They're busy work, things that keep you occupied but don't move the needle much. It's like filling your day with sand instead of the big rocks that actually matter. We often fall into the trap of checking off as many items as possible, thinking quantity equals productivity. But productivity isn't about doing more things, it's about doing the right things. Origin story, the 80/20 rule comes from an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, who noticed over a century ago that 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the people. Since then, this principle has popped up everywhere. In business, often 20% of customers generate 80% of revenue. In software, Microsoft discovered that fixing 20% of the most reported bugs eliminated 80% of crashes. In your own life, you might notice you wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. The pattern is uncanny. Applying 80/20 to productivity. So how do we apply this magic ratio to our daily work? Start by identifying your high-impact tasks, the tasks that create the most value. If you're a student, which study activities lead to actual learning, maybe practice problems or teaching others, versus low-yield tasks like overhyping the textbooks? If you're a professional, which projects or to-dos produce major results or praise from your boss or clients? Those high-impact tasks are your vital 20%. Next, prioritize relentlessly. Make it a habit each morning to choose 1 or 2 critical tasks, your must-dos that day that will drive the most progress. These are your 20% tasks. By tackling those first, often called eating the frog, you ensure you devote your best energy to what matters most. The remaining 80% of less important tasks can be scheduled later, delegated, or even dropped if possible. Working smarter often means saying no to the less important 80%. This can feel uncomfortable at first. You might think, but those other tasks need to get done eventually. Sure, but be strategic. Limit the time you spend on lower value activities. For example, you might check email once in the afternoon instead of every 15 minutes, freeing up a morning block for deep focus on a high impact task. Or, if you find meetings are eating up your schedule with little benefit, see if you can consolidate or cut some of them. Real life example. Let's say you're launching a side business. You have a list of things to do. Develop the product, market it on social media, answer emails, design a logo, reach out to potential partners, and organize files. If you apply the 80/20 lens, you might realize that developing the product and reaching out to partners are the actions most likely to lead to revenue, the result you want. Designing the perfect logo or color coding your files might feel productive, and let's be honest, it's more fun sometimes, but they won't make or break your business. By focusing on product and partnerships, your vital 20%, you make huge strides, even if you temporarily neglect some less critical tasks. Benefits. Embracing the 80/20 rule can be liberating. It's permission to let go of perfectionism on the things that don't matter. You no longer feel compelled to give equal weight to every item on your plate. This reduces overwhelm because your to-do list shrinks to what truly matters. You might even find you have more free time because you stop overcommitting to trivial tasks. Remember, being busy is not the same as being productive. 10 hours of busy work can't compete with 2 hours dedicated to a game-changing project. Caution. Now, a quick reality check. 80/20 is a guideline, not an exact law of nature. Sometimes it might be 70/30 or 90/10. Don't get hung up on the exact numbers. The key takeaway is that outcomes are often disproportionate. A small selection of activities have an outsized impact. Find those and cherish them. Action steps. So starting tomorrow, or heck, starting today, take a critical look at your tasks. Write down everything you do in a day or a week. Then circle the few items that create the most value, whether value means money, progress, learning, or happiness. Challenge yourself. How can you spend more time on those and less time on the others? Perhaps you delegate, automate, or simply stop doing the low-value stuff. It might feel weird to drop tasks you've always done, but if they aren't contributing significantly to your goals, they're mostly sand, not rocks. Remember, productivity is about impact, not hours logged. When you focus on the 20% that truly matters, you'll find you can achieve more in a normal workday than you used to achieve in a frantic overtime week. It's not magic. It's just being strategic with where you put your energy. Wrap up, the 80/20 rule is a mindset shift. It teaches us to stop equating more effort with better results automatically. Instead, we ask, which efforts actually drive results? When you start doing that, you'll notice something amazing. You're moving faster toward your goals and maybe even working fewer hours. You might catch yourself heading out for a walk or enjoying a hobby without guilt because you know the work you did was high value. So work smarter, not harder. Focus on the few things that truly move the needle. Trim the rest. That's how you can work less, achieve more, and reclaim time for what really matters, both in work and in life.